Tennessee is now the first state in the nation to outlaw cutting the genitalia off of children. I can't believe I just had to say that out loud. I'm going to talk to you about that and also take a 30,000 foot view. And I hope to rattle loose some questions in your noggin and get you thinking. It might be fun. It's also a very weird conversation and some good news coming out of, right here, Tennessee. Buckle up, here we go. I got home last night from Boonville, Missouri, hung out for a few days with the CMMG crew, had an absolute ball, got to go through the factory, wasn't able to show you that or film there, but it was awesome. I also got to put a lot of Freedom seeds downrange with their full yam selection. More than ever, 2 huge thumbs up from me, CMMG. You know what? You know where to find them. Go pick yours out and pick out your favorite color. Big thank you to those folks. Big thank you to each of you people for every thumbs up, just being here. Going to have a busy week this week, culminating in Friday, Spicy Friday. All right, Tennessee has now made it illegal to do gender reassignment. Somebody stopped me yesterday. They said, Johnny, are you excited about that? I was like, well, really, for me, it's weird. It's weird to be able to even talk about this. Why do we even do that? Like the whole thing, and I'm not talking about adults doing what they want to do. We talked about that last week. I'm talking about children whose synapses have not even connected. Their personalities have not even developed, and they are still below the age of consent at every level, having massive life-changing surgery. Turns out nonsense was taking place in Vanderbilt. My comment is this: the only reason we're able to have a culture that does this sort of nonsense, that sits in a drum circle and whines and cries and talks about microaggressions, is because of violence. We have so much peace here, we don't know what to do with it. We are in a time period right now where we have the greatest block or timeline of peace than we've had in 250 years of this country. A lot of wars, a lot of fire and pestilence, sword, and a lot of bad stuff and nonsense and full-on genocide on the American plains. However, right now, yes, there are ebbs and flows of smaller things like summer of 2019 and some few bad things even this past weekend and a few cities that aren't that great. But overall, your life is beyond blessed. It is. I have unlimited potable water out of that tap right over there. I can pour more water out of that tap than our forefathers ever saw in their lifetime. That is bacteria-free. It's more than they ever saw. They used to have to boil water, just have to suffer through it. Now, we're in a timeline right now. Why? Why do we get this much peace in our life? It's because men are willing to do violence, and violent things happen so that we can have peace. There is always an ebb and a flow, an up and down of from war to peace, war to peace. 2,500 years ago, our young men would have been learning to hoist the shield, learning to put spears over the swords and over the shields or over the shoulders of their fighting mates. Why? Well, if the polis next door to them was to sharpen their swords, sharpen their spears, they would come over and steal their land and take their women. They'd have to be ready. We are not unlike that. Because we have so many decades and we end up worrying more about what's on Netflix, we are so blessed. We have the freedom to paint our hair blue and worry about pronouns. Violence brought that. And I am willing to have that much freedom that we make up things to worry about. We make up fights to fight. We worry about the name of the football team in D.C. rather than worrying about what's going on in D.C. I'm willing to have this much peace, and I like it, and I am thankful for it. All I'm saying is this today. In a grand oversimplification of human history, it's because men are willing to do violence that we have time periods of peace. And that's the reason we've made up problems and made up stuff. I don't know what's coming down the pipeline. I do know that we need to be ready for it when it does come. There is always an ebb and flow. And just because we have peace now doesn't mean we always will. I don't think it's coming anytime soon. Balkanization is going to happen first. But regardless, get out there and get yourself trained and ready and thinking about the days ahead. Good news coming out of Tennessee. Weird news coming from this table right here. I'll be here all week. See you Friday also on Spicy Friday. It's going to be a fun week. See you soon. Bye.